When I first seen a lowrider coming down the street, coming down Pico Boulevard, man, hitting switches, that's when I was like, I want to do that. I started barbering about 15 years ago. Kind of just happened, man, you know. I was a contractor at the time. The economy wasn't doing too good and my construction company was failing. And I was in between jobs, man. I was sitting in the barber shop one day and I'm looking around and it's just like, man, this seems like, you know, I could do this right here, you know? So I asked the head barber, hey man, you know, why don't you let me get a job and let me, you know, do some quick haircuts, you know? This dude was like, go get your license and come back and I'll give you a job, right? As a matter of fact, if you go right now, he says, I'll buy you your first set of clippers. It was almost like he dared me to do it right then and there. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go right now. I was thinking, man, how long is this gonna be? You know, I could probably go there, I could probably slide the dude a $100 bill and get my license, you know, and come back and start making some quick money. But I got there and it wasn't the deal, you know. It was thousands of dollars, 1,500 hours of class time, you know. It was a big commitment. And just like everything else in my life, I thought it was gonna be really quick, you know. I called the barber and I said, hey, you never told me this was gonna take, you know, a year of my time if I commit to it. And he says, you know, in 1 year you're gonna say, I'm glad I did it, or I should have done it. Make up your mind because I'm busy. And he hangs up the phone, right? And I look at the lady and I decided to stay. That was my first day at barber college. When I came back, I was like telling people around me, like, yo, I'm gonna be a barber, you know, and it's kind of a joke. It was like I'm making the transition. People thought I was going through some kind of midlife crisis in my life, you know? And, but I remember I got to Mr. Cartoon's office in downtown that day, later that evening, and he's doing a tattoo. And I walk in and he's like, hey, Art, how you doing? He's tattooing. Like, what'd you do today? You know, I'm like, I went to barber college. And he immediately takes the gun away from his customer and he goes, you did what? He said, I went to barber college, man, you know? Puts this tattoo gun down, man. And he's like, listen, man, I don't care if you ever do anything else in your life. Being a barber is dope, man. Cut my hair, right? Next time I came in to his studio, he had a barber shop. I was 15 years old and hearing of his artwork, him did a mural on somebody's van in the neighborhood, you know, and then I heard about him doing a tattoo on one of my homies, you know, big back piece. Then I heard he was designing clothes, you know, and when I got to meet him is really when I learned that this man is not just an artist, right? But he's a professional artist, right? But he was a professional in all aspects. That he was where he was moving and how he was moving. When I got to know him, when I met him, that's one of the things that I first realized about him. You know, it's like, man, this dude's a professional in everything he's doing, man. You know, and through the years, through doing intervention work and outreach work with kids and stuff, I became a fan of the man that he was, that he is, man, you know? And that's something that I think people don't get a chance to see. There's art everywhere, right? The art of care, the art of giving back, you know, the art of showing love, you know? the art of car care, the detailing, you know. I dig that part about barbering too. They're very similar. I want to use the best products on my client. I want to give you the freshest cut, you know, just like when I pull up. I want to pull up in the freshest whip, you know. I want to use the best products on my vehicles too, you know. How you gonna express yourself? How you gonna show up with some dirty white walls? You know what I mean? That's not cool. There's nothing cool about that. You know what I mean? You want to pull up. You want to look good. You know, you want your ride to look good. You know, and be clean. You know, somebody come up to it and run their finger on it or something. You know, man, this shit's dirty. Oh, what? Me as a barber, you know, I want my tools to last me, you know, but, you know, I also want my car to last. I want my paint job to last. I want my interior, you know, the dash to stay fresh, you know. So you gotta protect it. That's why this quick wax works, man. You know, you can apply it when it's wet, you can apply it when it's dry, but that's what it is. It's a quick wax, man. You know what I mean? Like a quick lineup. You know what I mean? It's gonna make you feel fresh. You know, quick lineup, quick detail on your car. All of a sudden you're looking sharp. You know, that's what we're doing here. That's why I feel so natural. You know, it's like we do this on the natch, regardless. You know, this is not something that we're selling. This is how we live in. And I'm just happy to be a part of it, man, you know?